Happy Friday, June 24th, 2022. Might be a little bit of an echo, so I apologize. I'm underneath the pavilion, and so it's concrete and metal, so you're gonna hear probably reverberation there. I have the dogs over here tied around one of the posts, so didn't want to leave them in the house. Thought I'd come out, and this is kind of the best spot that I can kind of keep an eye on them, because I kind of have to be close to them or they get upset. If I'm not close to them, and if I'm out in the yard where it sounds better and it looks better, then you're gonna hear dogs barking. So it is what it is. Friday, today it's the carnival came to town today, so it's kind of cool. My oldest daughter, she's conducting cheer camp, and she's a lifeguard, so she's going to do that afterwards. And then my youngest daughter, she's watching right now the cheer camp, and then they're probably going to go to the carnival. We went last night. A buddy of mine, he's in a local band, and he sang, so that was pretty cool. Mitch came and hung out. So it's just kind of neat, to get out and do the little carnival thing, then when it comes to town. It seems like so many times right now, and I talked to my wife about this. The local bar, we would have a band in there, and I mean, the place would be packed. And it was just absolutely, sorry, should have put the notifications off. But the local bars used to be packed. And I mean, a lot of us would get together, and it was great. I mean, we'd hang out, and it seems like that's kind of gone away, and we've friends have kind of gone different directions, and you lose track. I mean, you're still friends, but you're not talking all the time, and it's just, you grow apart, and you have, life gets in the way, I guess you could say. You've got, families and burdens and debts and, bills to pay, and I mean, so many different things, and it's hard to sometimes maintain those relationships. And you think, of all the people you went to high school with, how many people are you still actively hanging around with? I can't say a whole lot. There was, and speaking to that, I lost a really good buddy of mine this past week. He passed away. Same age as me. We went to grade school together, graduated high school together, and we were inseparable. I mean, we would run around all the freaking time after high school. It was just like, everybody knew if one was there, the other was with them. And if one wasn't there, it's like, hey, where's that? It was just so, everybody was so used to seeing us together. We had a lot of good times. And we we still live not that far apart, but it's just, sometimes it, we get busy doing things, but I would go over to his house once or twice a year, or he'd come over here, and, we'd end up staying up a little late, drinking until 2:30 in the morning, but we'd catch up, and it was like nothing ever changed. And we got all caught up on everything, and it was pretty cool. So that's hard to lose him. It really is. It's been a rough week. But so shout out to you, Eric. I know you're always here. But I went to his funeral this week, and I got together with a lot of the people I went to high school with. And, most of us still live around here. But, we don't hang out all the time. So I think, I'm going to make more of an effort to kind of hang out with more people and make contact. And, and I got phone numbers because I'm like, everybody's living around here. I'm almost 50 now, and we're all getting older. And, the next thing you know, we're going to have another reunion that's going to be at a funeral. And that's not such a cool thing. So, it's good to, once in a while pop in, and, sometimes you think, oh, well, it's been so long since I've talked to somebody, that's kind of awkward. And it's like, what? If somebody stopped by here and said, hey, man, how you doing, Westwood? It's been a long time. And it's like, hey, come on in, man, have a beer. Don't stay too long, but, come on in and hang out for a little bit. It's good to see people, it's good to meet up. And she's probably going to knock this tripod out of alignment because the way she's walking around right now. And so if the camera shakes, that's why. This is what I was afraid of. I'd get tangled up in this dog web of leashes. But it's good to maintain connections with people, especially if you're like-minded. You're not necessarily always going to be like-minded. Let's do that. But those of us who are, it's good to maintain those positive relationships, because those are the people who can help you out. Those are the people in these really rough times that we're in right now and are going to get rougher, are going to be there for you. They're going to have your back at some level. So it's kind of important to have those relationships, because if you go and try and get something done and ask somebody for help that you really don't know, I mean, they're going to be looking out for their families. We're in for some rough times. This you should see this. It's absolutely unbelievable. These dogs are wrapped around the dog dish. They're wrapping around my tripod. Pretty soon I'll probably, Westwood down, man down. But we'll see. Hopefully they just lie down. So relationships are very key, very important. We had a Westwood meetup here. This is the pavilion. I still need to finish the metal off. Things are cheap. I mean, it's hard to get things done, but it was a pretty good meetup. A lot of like-minded people, again, coming together, good relationships. Going to be necessary. Going to be necessary in what's happening. The cost of everything and the supplies that you're going to need are going to be gone. You're not going to be able to get some stuff. So, you might need to know somebody who can, or a skill, something that you need. A lot of people who are here, a lot of different skills, can get a lot of things accomplished. Would be a great community. So it's good to put together that community. I'll let this cigar go out. That'd be a shame. Today's happy hour. Happy hour Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Central Time to 5. 4 to 5. Gotta make sure I breathe when I talk. Don't swallow it. Anyway. 4 p.m. Central Time, like Quinn Lisa on her channel. We're going to be live on Happy Hour. We're going to be doing a recap of everything that happened at Westwood, the meetup that we had, the Happy Hour that we did last Friday at Peoria Pizza Works. Just kind of review all that. She'll have some pictures, pretty cool pictures. Got some pictures of everybody on the scooter. I just posted one on Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter, actually, you probably just get a Twitter account and just follow certain people, and you can kind of see what's going on. I would highly recommend that. Don't have to engage, but it is important to follow certain people because you get a lot of information, especially in the cryptocurrency space, on Twitter. That's where a lot of the news comes from. That's where it breaks first. So highly recommend getting a Twitter account and following certain people. You can start by following Clint Westwood, and then you can see the pictures that I post on the Digi Scooter with Light Quinn Lisa and me. We have some pretty funny ones. Blind Dave's on there, J-Mac, Mitch. So we've got Spilling Water. We've got all kinds of people on the scooter. Clash Daddy, Jason. Wow, these dogs are a handful. You know what? Is what it is, right? They're babies. So check out Happy Hour coming up this today at 4 p.m. Central Time. It'll be a good time. I might do it outside today. I'll find a good spot. I used to do that. I was outside and did Happy Hour, but when the weather would get bad, and then the winter time, it's just nicer to be in the bar. But I may find a good spot and do it outside today. It's not too bad, not too windy. Yeah, might do that. We'll see what happens. The big events, the Supreme Court's coming down with a bunch of rulings. Yesterday, they ruled that you do have the right to keep and bear arms. In other words, you have the right to possess them when you're not in your home. And it went to a New York state law. I think they struck down, put restrictions on, being able to carry. And so at this point, every state it looks like is going, and they pretty much do, but there are some that are kind of outliers. They're going to have to give you the right to carry. And that's, I had this discussion too. I was going back to my prior discussion. I got to go back to the whole bar thing. But the Constitution says one thing, and it seems like government has grown so big and we've gotten so far away from it. We've progressivism. We progressed away from the Constitution that now we have to come back in and the Supreme Court has to say, no, this is what it says. We're just having to reaffirm it now. Which is kind of silly, but that's kind of where we're at. People don't understand that, hey, you've got the right to bear arms. You keep and bear arms. Necessary for the security of a free state. And the Supreme Court is just reiterating that. It's not like it went away. It's just the fact that it was never acknowledged anymore. And so now it's, hey, you need to acknowledge this. That's what's written in there. And so it's good that they're bringing us back to our roots. The same thing, Roe v. Wade, I see, I guess you could say, was overturned today, essentially giving states the rights to decide on the abortion topic, instead of saying it's a national right. And they're saying, like they should have done in the first place, it's a state right. And so the states get to decide. That's ultimately, federalism. You've got a national government, you've got this configuration of states, but the states need to be powerful. And that's kind of the way it was constructed, to where if it's not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution, it devolves to the states or the people. So it's devolving to the people, the people, to us, because we have the most power, and that was acknowledged in the beginning of our nation's founding, and now the Supreme Court is starting to reaffirm that, which is a good thing. And we're going to have, it's almost like this is the Great Awakening. We are at a point where we have to understand what this republic is, or we lose it. Understand what the Constitution is, or it no longer has power. We can't just sit by and let government just go through the machinations that it goes through and just, that's just the way it is. You can't fight City Hall. It's just too bad, so sad. There's nothing I can do. Well, you're starting to see that there are things that can be done. You look at the mandates that happened during the pandemic. This state, the governor, mandates in schools, got to wear a mask, got to wear a mask here, got to wear a mask there, mask everywhere. And then the courts, once it got to the courts, we knew that it was unconstitutional. We knew that it was a violation of our rights. But they used the mafia strong arm technique of saying, well, guess what? Schools, if you don't enforce it, we'll just pull your charters. We'll pull your funding. And so that's all it is, just a mafia type move. And then the courts came in and said, after you had to work your way through the courts, they just said, yeah, you're right. We're just validating that, it is unconstitutional, that the governor does not have the right to do that. But in that time frame that you had to wait for the court in Illinois, the courts in Illinois to determine that, you had to go through all this madness. And so you've got leaders who are in place, or I should say you've got selected people in place, and they mandate certain things, but it doesn't mean that it's lawful. It doesn't mean that it's constitutional. And when you stand up and say no, doesn't mean you're wrong just because you're not following the orders of the governor. It means he's wrong and everybody going along with him is wrong. And that's been proven now in the courts. And now, you're seeing it proven in the courts, with the Second Amendment. You're seeing it proven with the Roe v. Wade thing. And there's more decisions coming down from the Supreme Court. And it's just validating that we, the people, have rights. We knew that. We instituted government. The states came together and said, hey, these are our rights. Here's the piece of paper. Here's the playbook you need to follow. And when you don't follow it, the states should not have to follow it. The people should not have to follow these mandates. And we're seeing that in real time happen and unwind. All of this madness that's been heaped upon us for a couple centuries now, it's starting to unwind. So I think it's a good thing. It's devolving back to the people, where it rightfully should be. Rights of the people. I wanted to go back to the whole bar scene. My point, this is a CAO Flathead 660. It's a thick cigar. It's a pretty good thick cigar, Flathead. I like them. It's got a good flavor in the tobacco. So go back to the bars, I was talking to my wife, and hey, it used to be this bar over here was packed, now it's closed. Hey, we had another bar over here, and it moved, and it was always packed. You had bands in there, and people would come out, and then I started thinking and say, well, why is that? And I used to run a nightclub, and it would be packed on the weekends, and now it's hard to get anybody out and come to these places. You just don't have that scene, where everybody shows up. I think Studio 54 going way back. There used to be a place in Peoria called the Poison Apple. Kind of the same concept as Studio 54, place in disco, this and that, And then it went away. What made those places popular? There was a place in Peoria called Gilligan's. And everybody wanted to get to Gilligan's. They had the shark attack drinks, and everybody's at Gilligan's. And then Millennium, that's the one I ran. It was kind of at the point, in 1999 where it was changing. It was all changing, starting to change. You could kind of feel it. But it still had big crowds. Everybody would go. yeah, it's the way, it's just the place. And you had those places. And then even the local, in the small town, that I live outside of, the bars, I mean, we would have bands come in. There's wall-to-wall people in a small town. But I don't see that anymore. And I theorize and I think, well, I think it's because of the technology. I mean, it used to be that we would, you go way back and you had like dances and stuff, square dances, and, people would get together that way. But people don't need to get together anymore. And I think it's because of the technology. It's because of things like this. I could be spreading my message on a grandstand, and preaching and this and that, and, in front of people, but just like so many other people could be doing. But we've got the technology now to where I can come out here, I can set it up on a tripod, chain the dogs up, give them a little bit of water, and then I can come out and talk and say something. And I think it's the same thing with people not showing up to big, in big groups anymore and getting together and socializing like we used to, because we talk to each other every day if we want. We can send videos every day. We have social media. We have these devices that connect us. And so there's less of a desire, because I remember Friday nights, it's like, all right, what are we gonna do? You're excited. Where are we going? Where are we going this Friday? And, everybody's like, okay, calling each other, hey, you gonna be there? You gonna be there? And, they put the word out. Next thing you know, we all show up at, this band's playing over there and we're gonna hang out at the bar. And so you'd see each other. That would be your socialization. I mean, you had to go or you're not gonna see each other. Now it's so much easier to connect that you don't have that starving for that need to get together so much. I just talked to him, or I just sent him a video. And it's, we've decentralized, which in a way is good and in a way is bad, because we don't have that human connection anymore. And I'd hate to see it get to the point where we're all in the metaverse, and then we never have human contact, because that's an important thing, because together, you get that frequency, that vibration, that natural spiritual thing that you're going to lose, with this kind of communication. So I think that's kind of my theory on why people don't get together as much anymore. They're already together every day. We're already connected every day. It's just a different form of connection, which in a lot of ways isn't healthy. But you just got to understand that and realize that, and don't let it suck your soul into the digital world and, join the matrix. That's why it's good to go to meetups, and see people. It's good to have that human contact. Just a thought. So anyway, successful meetup. Very happy. Join us for happy hour today. Should be pretty good. We'll see the review. So I hope you all have a great weekend. Love you all. Trust yourselves. Always trust yourself. You know better than anybody else how to live your life. Go with your gut. Just always trust yourself. All right. Have a happy Friday. Thank you for watching. Love you all.